Welcome back to the channel. We are continuing our conversation today about hiring, recruiting, building a team that's going to help you scale your business and get you the results that you need to find success, and more importantly for you as a CEO to find time and financial freedom. Today we're going to be talking about a 5-step process that I have for hiring and recruiting rockstar team members. So first things first, before you go off and spend a ton of money on ad space on Indeed or ZipRecruiter or wherever you think you can find the right people to build your team, you have to do some work ahead of time. Knowing what to hire for, what results you want them to be responsible for, and what type of person is going to be the right candidate to fit your culture and to be able to play the position that they need to play within your company. And I know you may think you know the right type of people that you need, but let me tell you, after 12 years of being an entrepreneur and a business owner and having to hire hundreds of people over the years, the ones that are going to stick around and the ones that are going to produce the most, be loyal to you, and help you build the perfect culture are usually going to be the type of people that you least expect. So if you haven't checked last week's video, go ahead and check it out. I talked about creating something called position contracts before you go to hire, and it's also a great tool to use with the team that you might already have. So go back and watch that video if you haven't. It's a great preliminary step before watching this video and creating your process for hiring. That tool is going to save you so much time, money, frustration, and not having to go through a lot of people before you find the right one. I totally understand that when it comes to our businesses, it's almost like our babies. Very hard to let go of control, and it can be really scary, and to trust people and to try to find people that are going to care about your business in a way that you care about your business and its success. I understand that it is scary, but it is something that is absolutely necessary if you really want to be able to live the life that you want and create something incredible that other people get to also build an amazing life underneath and make that impact in the community, not just in a financial aspect. It's super important that you come up with the right process for you and your business, and that you're able to follow that process as you move forward in growing and scaling. So let's dive into the 5 steps that I have in my hiring and recruiting process and what those look like. The first step that I have is obviously having some kind of a job ad. And for me, what changed and the shift that I made was I stopped using these kind of basic, boring, very transactional feeling job ads and like job template placements. It is a lot less about what they're going to be doing and a lot less about the skills that I feel like they need to have, but more about telling a story. Telling a story about who your company is and the type of person that you're looking for that's going to inspire somebody to want to work for your company, to want to learn those skills, to want to be a part of what you're doing. And that will get you way more candidates, and more candidates that believe the same things you believe, that feel like what you're doing in your company, what your story is telling them, they can see themselves fit into. So I do have an example of what an inspiring kind of storytelling job ad includes. So let's dive into what that kind of looks like. In this ad example, we are asking questions and we're kind of telling a story. So I'm going to read it a little bit out loud and explain why these components are part of this. So right away, it's asking questions. Are you someone that wants to have an opportunity? How about a stable and positive work environment while making a difference in people's lives? Immediately, even with those first couple sentences, we are evoking some curiosity in someone, and also kind of asking them, like, is this you? Does this sound like you? Does this sound like something you'd be interested in? Which allows them to continue reading and now be more curious and invested in the job ad. Hi, we are blank agency, and we're a new company, or you can say we've been around for a certain amount of time, whatever you want to put there, that is growing faster than we can handle, and we need you. So if you're someone who is looking to grow with a company, is able to contribute with innovation and professionalism, is computer savvy and takes initiative, and is really organized, then look no further. Now, we want a little bit of humor. We want to stand out from the rest of the job ads. We want to be able to talk to them about values and characteristics that they have. That is not always easy to teach people. It's hard to teach somebody how to be professional. It's hard to teach somebody to take initiative and be able to contribute with some innovation. And if there's someone that's naturally organized, then we definitely want them, right? And so we're really looking for those characteristics and values that they have, than necessarily saying, oh, have you use this computer software specifically? Because you can train somebody to use technology. You can't train somebody that wants to be organized, right? And so we continue with, we are seeking a client support specialist, which is the title, to join our team. Here's what you'll be responsible for. helping customers by providing energetic and delightful assistance and managing any requests they have on their insurance accounts with our company. You can see there, we're not listing crazy amounts of responsibilities right away. We're looking for someone who makes sure they work hard to keep our clients happy and with our company. We let them know, don't worry, we'll train you on everything. We want them to know that we are going to provide support and they're not going to have to figure this out on their own because nobody likes that. This is an opportunity to learn the insurance industry and how to make money on your own terms. Who doesn't want that? Again, we're putting some things in there that are going to entice them to want to be part of what we're doing. Come join us because you want to work with the best in the industry and see yourself achieve greatness. So quickly, we just listed a couple responsibilities: handling and delegating customer inquiries and service requests, provide information about products and services, troubleshoot and resolve product issues and concerns without assistance, document and update customer records based on interactions with accuracy, develop and maintain knowledge base of the evolving products and services. Again, we don't get really into detail that they're going to have to answer the phone and things like that in this ad because we don't want to deter people away. We want to have them say, hey, I can do these things. Then we go into some questions to, again, have them say yes to as much of this as possible. Can you provide a delightful client experience over the phone or in person? Are you organized with your time and tasks? Can you build relationships and rapport with people? Start going through the list as they're reading this and answering these questions. Do you show up for work on time and are reliable? The more they say yes to these things, the more they are, again, committed to at least applying. We do have in here that they must be bilingual. Obviously, you can get rid of that as well. And immediately it says, if you answered yes to most of these questions, then you are exactly where you need to be. So we want to reinforce that they're in the right place and they just found this gem of a position within all the places they were looking. We have been looking for you. And then in here, we just left kind of this template that we want you to insert some more information about your business. So insert some information to tell them about your business. You can build know, like, and trust with them. Your experience. This is the place where you want to build some authority and give yourself some accolades, but don't over brag. Something about the people that are working there, maybe something that will make them feel like they know a little bit about you guys from just reading this. Maybe the example is like, we're not your typical insurance agency. We like to have fun in every aspect of what we do, and we strive to make a great working environment. So as you can see, this job ad kind of template or example is definitely different than most of the things you've probably read, and also going to be different from a lot of things they're looking at. This is meant to inspire and get somebody curious to possibly apply for this position. And this is where we start getting those that are different from everybody else and really open up our candidate pool. Let's move on to the next step of what we do in our hiring and recruiting process. Okay, so when we're going through the candidates that actually apply, here are a couple things that I want you to look for. I don't want you to worry as much about how much time they spent at a particular job. Yes, it's important for them to have consistency and kind of show that they are able to commit to something and stay loyal, but it's more important to see what type of things they were doing when you are filtering through. See if some of those skills or some of the type of jobs they had would align similar to what you need them to do. Also, I want you to understand that if they're applying for this position, they might be looking for something different, since we did place an ad that's a little bit more storytelling and inspiring to get them to want to come work with you. So don't be afraid to give people a chance in the interview process, because we do have a few steps in that process to allow us to see if there's someone that could be committed. So once you have an interview booked and you are ready to either get on Zoom or meet them in person, you want to have interview questions ready to help you flow through the interview process. One of those things that I think is really important is that you actually talk less and let them talk more. If they have questions about the position or if they have questions about the company, open the floor up for them to ask, because it's going to give you insight into what questions they have, how interested they are, did they do any research, things like that. The type of interview questions that I like to ask, and when I made the switch, I learned a lot more about the candidate within the interview process than I did before, just trying to come up with basic off the cuff kind of questions like, hey, tell me about yourself, or go ahead and give me a summary of your resume, right? Those are the type of questions you don't want to be asking. We want to ask questions that are called behavioral based questions. Behavioral based questions, and you can search this, they are questions, as an example, they are questions like, tell me about a time you had to work within a team environment and it wasn't working out. Tell me about a time you worked in a team environment and what type of position did you take within that project? Were you someone who understood how to follow instructions? Tell me about a time that you were able to achieve something you worked really hard for, and what did you do to make sure you achieved that? When you're asking these types of questions, what happens is the individual has to actually think and try to go back to a memory or a time that you are asking them to look for within their experience. And so it's much harder for them to come up with kind of a lie or to fib or to exaggerate on some of these things. Their brain will literally look for a time to answer your question, and you'll get so much more insight into who that person is. I have a few behavioral questions that you can access below if you're interested in seeing what those are, or you can absolutely Google search behavioral based interview questions and you will come across hundreds of options. So make sure you have those interview questions ready to go. The next thing that I do, if they are looking to work within our agency as a W-2 employee or in office, kind of in-house, we do give them a quick little handwritten or digitized pre-exam to working with us. This is computer and basic knowledge based. So we want to make sure that they know how to copy paste. They know how to do basic math. They don't get freaked out by having to kind of take this pre-exam employment. And I will tell you, there are people that have walked into our office for an interview and we've handed them this to do before the interview and they have walked out. So that'll filter out some more people that you probably don't want working in your office. The next thing we do is we do give them a personality test to complete. We use the Enneagram test. You absolutely cannot hire somebody based off the results of a personality test, but it can give you a lot of insight into the way they've answered the questions and possibly how they could fit based on their answers within your culture and the position that they're going to take. You're going to ask behavioral-based questions. You might want to give them kind of a pre-exam or maybe have them watch a video a little bit about your business before they come into your office or do a Zoom call with you, and maybe give them a personality test to take. The other thing that the personality test does is to see how committed they are to possibly earning this opportunity or earning this position within your company. They're not willing to complete these steps. There's no point in going through the interview process because they're not willing to do the work to be able to earn an interview with you. So that helps also filter out anyone who isn't really serious. The next step is when you've had an interview and you really, really like this person, is to go over a position contract, which I talked about, like I said, in the last video, and let them know what the purpose of the position is, what job responsibilities they're going to have, how they're going to be evaluated, what the results are that they should have as goals and that you're going to be measuring as metrics. Make sure they have an understanding about what that is and they can agree that they are on the same page with you and they are excited and willing to do this position to the best of their abilities, to learn, to grow, to also have a great attitude doing it, and that they understand what the expectation is. That's when you will present the offer. We do an offer letter that explains how they get paid, what they need to do in order to get this position. Maybe it's licensing, maybe it's a background check, etc. And we also mentioned that we are an at-will state. They can terminate their position. We can terminate their position with no explanation at any time, and that we are also offering certain benefits, etc. So the offer letter really explains kind of compensation, requirements, that we're an at-will state, things like that, so they understand what the offer is that they are getting. We're also going to have in there who it is that is going to be their manager or the person that's just right above them that they may need to work with or answer to within their position. If they're getting hired for a sales position, every single person goes through what we call a probationary period. We go over this probationary period in the interview process towards the end if we can tell they are somebody that we want to make an offer to. If we don't do it in the interview, we do it when we offer the position and the offer letter. The probationary period for us is a 90-day probationary period because we want to ensure that if they're going to be responsible for producing sales results and revenue, we want to make sure that they know what that's going to take, and that if they can't produce what we need them to produce within those 90 days, then unfortunately the position can't remain theirs because we need to make sure we bring people on that can produce results. So it gives them 3 months to really build that pipeline and show us what they can do as far as results go. With that said, we want to just see them grow month after month. It also allows me as the business owner to know I'm committing for 3 months of your salary, commission, whatever it is it's going to cost me to put the training in and the effort and the monetary investment into you for 3 months. That is the commitment that I need to understand that I have. So I kind of use the analogy of going to the casino. I mean, I'm from Las Vegas, so, it makes sense. But if you're going to go gamble and you tell yourself, okay, I have $300, I'm willing to lose these $300 for the potential of making more. But also, if I lose that money, I'm okay with it, kind of thing. So that's what I use. It's kind of just a mindset that I have that I need to be ready to invest those 3 months. And that's the most I'm going to invest. Because for us, the commission that we pay and the salary that we pay for a salesperson within those first 90 days, that goal that I have for them is eventually to cover the cost of their seat. So if they can produce what they need to produce within those first 90 days, I know I'm at least going to break even, if not make a profit. And I know that I only need to worry about losing those first 3 months. Now, they have accepted their position contract, the offer letter, they understand the probationary period, and you are super excited about this individual. The last step in the hiring and recruiting process is really getting them onboarded. What is that onboarding experience? Just like most of us, we have all been in a job or have gotten a job, and we show up on the first day and we have no idea what to expect. We are kind of thrown into the deep end and expected to just tread water or just figure it out. And you have other people working there that have been there for a while, and it's just very awkward, and nobody wants that type of experience when they first start working somewhere. If you really want them to be successful, you have to work on a process for their onboarding experience to set them up for success, to make them feel welcomed, to ensure that they know that they're part of a team right away, to help them fit into the culture, to have them know what it is they need to be doing every single day, at least for the first few weeks, if not forever. And we want to make sure that we are welcoming them with the best energy, and the expectations are set, and they don't have to kind of look around and try to understand what it is they're supposed to do. So the onboarding experience for us is we have a welcome gift. We make sure their desk is clean and ready to go, make sure all the equipment they're going to be using is ready and set up for them. We then take them out to lunch or do an in-house lunch with the rest of the team so they can get to know each other and make sure that's really welcoming. We also have a sheet with what we're going to be doing for the first day. Then we have a sheet that talks about what we're going to be training on for the first week. Any kind of training videos, resources, tools they have, we want to make sure they have access to that right away and they can follow the steps without us having to hold their hand. If there's going to be any shadow time or any time they're going to be working with another team member, we make sure to schedule that in advance so the team member doesn't get burdened and they know what to expect, but also that the new hire knows when they're going to be working with somebody else. So we make sure that onboarding experience is as smooth as possible, is as positive as possible, because we want to make sure that that first impression they have is as positive as possible. Let's recap real quick what the 5 steps to hiring and recruiting a rockstar team looks like in our business and that we've used in every single industry that we've had so far. The first one is when we're placing an ad and we're trying to tell the world we have a position open. We are here to tell a story, to inspire somebody to work with us, and make sure that we're hiring someone who has the values, the beliefs, the desire to work with a company like ours. The second thing that we do is we're going to interview them and we're going to evaluate them with behavior-based questions, have them go through a few hoops to make sure that they're serious about this position. The third thing that we're doing is we are going to have an offer letter and a possible probationary period for that position, and we want to make sure that's super clear to the person that's going to be joining our team. We go over the position contract, what the purpose is, what role are they going to be playing within our organization, why it matters, the job responsibilities they have, the metrics we're going to be measuring them on, and the standards and expectations on how they're going to be evaluated. And fifth, and the last one, is going to be making sure we give them the best onboarding experience and get them trained and ready to go so that they can start contributing to the success of our business and have a wonderful long career with our company. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments, do you have a hiring process? What are some of the things that you've used in the past to hire really great people? And let's just share some tips and tricks in the comments below. If you want to get access to those behavior-based questions, make sure you click the link in the description box. And I can't wait to see you again in the next video.